September weather has arrived to the happiness of some and to the chagrin of others. But for most people, they're enjoying this. I sure am. And actually, for a change, we don't have any historic or catastrophic rains going on. So we'll talk about whatever there is to be talked about, because the only thing that's worse than being talked about is not being talked about on the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast, which is brought to you by Tempest by Weatherflow. Get the revolutionary Tempest weather system. Join the fastest growing observing weather network on the planet. The link is on the description of this podcast. Use that coupon code, Joe Rayo.
Summer 2024, Mr.
I-
Chiaffi.
if you do, you will get.
10% off.
So I woke up this morning, 57, and it got to 77 this afternoon. Beautiful. I mean, deep blue sky, dew points in the in the 50s. It was just an unbelievable day here in North Georgia, and I've got two more to go. Two more coming.
Yeah, we had a day where, the day started out with more clouds than sun, and gradually, slowly, inexorably, the sun eventually won out over the clouds, but it took the better part of the day. But still, it was cool this morning. The humidity was down, very comfortable. All the windows were open first thing this morning. And I have a feeling we may be not necessarily closing or shutting them, but lowering them, because tonight looks like a pretty darn chilly night up here. Um, I said in my Facebook forecast that the interior rural valley spots here in the Hudson Valley could get down as low as 48 degrees. Although I think normally here in Putnam Valley, I don't think we're going to get much lower than 52 or 53, but that's still pretty cool for the middle to latter part of August.
Well, they're forecasting 54 here for the airport. Um, Hold on a second. I just want to close that browser. They're 54 for the airport, so that means I could get down to 50 tomorrow morning. Oh,
Wow.
actually, when I went to the dog park, I had a sweatshirt on. Short pants, but I had a sweatshirt. Uh, but I'm loving this. And I got to think, I mean, because here we are, it's the 20th of August, and the way the pattern has been and with the way it looks like it's going with this troughing that wants to be in the eastern part of the United States, that we might be at a point just from the standpoint of the calendar that maybe there's the odd day here and there where it gets up close to 90, but unless we get some kind of big ridge, that surprise big ridge that pops up in the eastern part of the United States, then maybe the worst of the heat and humidity is over with.
I from your lips to God's ear. We've certainly, but especially in terms of the humidity. Um, we didn't really. I mean, we had a couple of days, I think, this summer where the temperature got up to like 94, 95 here, but I mean, like the humidity was on like ongoing for more than a couple of months. So thank God we got rid of that, and it is going to be a very, very lovely stretch of weather now for the next several days.
And I haven't really been paying close attention, um, but have there been that many 90-degree days this month?
I haven't paid that much of a close attention either. I could do a quick check if you want, but
Um, Actually, I'm doing it. I'm doing it right now. Okay, so Central Park. What do I want? Daily data for a month, daily almanac, monthly summarized data, calendar day summaries.
it used to be so easy, and now they made it so
I
difficult.
know it's like really calendar day summaries. I'll give that a whirl. Uh, okay, for 2024. Okay, what do we got here?
I'll bet you somebody
Oh,
on the chat
these are
probably knows.
these are records. Yeah, you know what? I should have looked it up beforehand. It'd take me too long. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to mention was, I mean, you know, there were no catastrophic rains forecast this week anywhere, so that's good. I happened to notice, I just forgot that uh, not that many not that many days ago, at the beginning of the month when we had Hurricane Debbie, I was uh, writing about catastrophic rains from Hurricane Debbie. Now we got catastrophic rains. It's like the biweekly catastrophic rain, historic rain event. And we were talking about this yesterday, and it occurred to me this morning. Bill Goodman kind of in that post that he had about, why is all this happening? Is it climate change? Is it this, that, or the other thing? The one thing he forgot to mention that came to my mind was the fact everything has been screwed up since this Tonga undersea volcano eruption a couple of years ago.
Right,
And
Tonga.
right, and I'm gonna just come out and say that I really do believe that has really messed up the atmosphere in a big way.
Hey, you're probably right. I don't know how many hundreds of billions of tons of moisture that thing injected into the atmosphere. I mean, we're not talking about an aerosol cloud or a large ash and dust cloud. We're talking about a cloud of water vapor that you get on volcanic eruptions, but you don't normally get that as the end result, and that could very well have played a role in the crazy weather we've been seeing, not just during the summer, but all year long.
Yeah. And I wonder, since we really have had a lack of winter-like patterns in the last couple of years, I wonder if we get into a situation where, uh, as we get into the winter months, if it's one of these, if it winds up being one of these winters that is going to be um, colder than the past several winters have been, and more snow opportunities, that maybe we'll see a storm or two that produces all sorts of weird snow amounts.
Well, the way I keep track of how a past winter has been is how many times I've had to break out the snowblower. When I've moved up here in 2002, I was using the snowblower probably, and I on average, roughly on average, maybe Renato will perhaps want to correct me or add something to this, but I think on average, we took out that machine at least 8 times each winter because we had some pretty large scale snowfalls. Last winter, or 2 winters ago, we only took it out 3 times, and this past winter, the least number of times we've ever had to take it out, only twice.
Right,
So we haven't had much in terms of snowfall. Yeah, it's funny I say that because 2 winters ago we had 11.9 inches in one sitting. That was one of the 3 times I took the snowblower out, and we had a fairly significant snowfall. I think like 10 inches this past winter. So I mean, when we get a significant snowfall, it's not 3, 4, 5. We get quite a bit in one shot, and yeah, I can remember uh, when we were first moved up here again, like 22 years ago. I mean, there were some winters we had like 80, 90 inches of snow for a winter season. We have
oh
nothing.
yeah, I had the same. I had it on Long Island too. I mean, you know how many I've lost count of how many 20-inch plus snowstorms I went through from 2000 to 2020. I mean, I would bet there were a good dozen. Yeah. And I got my money's worth out of my snowblower, which I loved. I had a Troy built snowblower, and it lasted me 20 years. It was great. Never had to have it tuned up, minimal maintenance, and it was a great snowblower, which I sold to one of my neighbors when I moved. So anyway, welcome to everybody on the chat board tonight to our Tuesday night Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast. And just to give you a heads up, but we're not going to have a show this Thursday because the weather's really quiet right now. So Joe and I are going to take advantage to maybe have an extra day or so of peace. So after tomorrow, we'll be back Sunday. So no show on Thursday. And welcome to those of you who are in the background on and not on the chat board. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn your notifications on so that you don't miss us when we are on, which the usual schedule is Sunday through Thursday at 7:35 p.m. and the occasional Friday and Saturday when there's a storm around. And if you like the show, hit the like button because Joe's got a bell. He loves to toll the bells of Notre Dame over there. We get to 100 likes. So what's the over under for New York City's low? Is it going to get under 60?
Um, I think there's a chance. Yeah, I think we could see Central Park get into the upper 50s by tomorrow morning. 58, 59. I think I'm thinking like a place like Teterboro, for example, probably will bottom out at around 55. And if they get that low, then New York certainly would have a shot. Certainly would have a chance to get below 60 degrees tonight.
By the way, what was your high today?
That's a good question. I never got around to looking at. Mrs. Rayo, who's monitoring the chat board, will probably be able to get up and check our. In fact, I hear the footsteps right now, so we will have the answer momentarily on the chat board, or maybe she'll just go on the intercom and say what the local high temperature was. It certainly didn't seem like it got much above 71 or 72.
And on the digital fork, the up here comes
Seventy
here comes the Macy's announcement.
71.
71. Well, the new digital forecast, um, which was issued at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, just in time for the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast. Um, 57 for New York City, 51 for Trenton, 56 for Philadelphia. Looks like double nickels for White Plains, and 50-ish for Poughkeepsie, 50-ish for Scranton, and a lot of upper 40s in between. And even some mid up in the Catskills. I don't know what spot that is, but they got a 40 there up in the Catskills. I don't know if that's Hunter Mountain, but there's a 40. There are no 30s, but there's a 40. And let's look at down further south, because you can see the 40s go down all through Western Virginia into Western North Carolina. They've got 57 on the digital map. Now, that's not quite me. That's actually a little bit east of me, but close enough. But I'm up to 2,200 feet. So if that 57 is right, I'll be down to about 52 or 3 tomorrow morning. And we've got a lot of 40s and low 50s in the Ohio Valley. I'll just widen this out a little bit and back through the Great Lakes. And this is a really, really robust air mass for this time of year.
It is indeed so. I'm just looking, Joe, at the weather records now. Like you, I've been having trouble locating where I can get the daily highs and lows for Central Park. However, I have been able to find through now data, the NOAA online weather data, the climatological data for Shrub Oak, which, by the way, is kept by Dan Thaler, whose father, Jerry Thaler, was a long time weather observer for many, many, many years, over 30, over 40 years, I think, at Yorktown Heights. And now Dan has picked up the baton. Jerry passed away several years ago. So he's been keeping the weather records in Shrub Oak. Now, you asked about 90-degree days. We didn't have any 90-degree days in April or May. In June, we've had, at least at Shrub Oak, which is just a stone's throw away from where I live. At Shrub Oak, they have had three heat waves this year. The first was the longest. In June, they had 6 days in a row at or above 90 degrees. The highest was 93. And in the month of June, Shrub Oak had 7 days at or above 90 degrees. In July, they had another heat wave, but this was not as long, four in a row. Again, the highest temperature recorded was 93. And they had overall in the month of July 7 90-degree days. So far, we're now 20 days into August. In August, we had another heat wave, which kicked off the month of August, actually. August 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, 3 days of 90 plus degree temperatures. The warmest was on my birthday, 92 degrees. That was the max. So it had 3 days in the 90s in August. So the total so far, assuming that we maybe we'll have a few more, I don't know. But so far, the summer, at least at Shrub Oak, has seen 17 days at or above 90 degrees. And I think that's really the norm. The
Yeah,
norm.
Rich Rothmansky has said, I guess for New York City, 15 days so far. But I'm still trying to get the answer for for see if he's going to post the answer for August, just August. But yeah, I mean that's about average for this time of year. I think, like you said, the humidity has been the bigger deal this summer. Certainly, thanks, Rich. He's still looking. Um,
Okay,
the heat,
I found Central Park, and I've got August up for Central Park, and so far one, two, three, four, five. So far Central Park has had 5 days at or above 90 degrees. Um,
in
a
August,
heat wave August 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, 3 days in a row of 90-degree temperatures. Maximum was on August 1st when the high temperature was 95 degrees.
right?
Well,
And by
that's
the
on the
way, Tom Contino says per Rich Hoffman. Um, we all know who Rich Hoffman is. He watches this show continuously. Uh, since 2020 at Islip in August, the temperatures only dipped into the 50s 3 times.
okay.
So it's 50s even away from the bigger cities, the big cities, has been elusive in recent years in the month of August. So we are. We're going to have 50s tonight and tomorrow morning and probably Thursday morning too.
Yeah, yeah. It's going to be tonight and tomorrow night will both be some unseasonably cool nights for the tri-state area as a whole, and especially in the Hudson Valley, where again a few spots will likely dip into the upper 40s.
Since I got the map up, I'm just gonna let me just
Almost
go to
sound like Casper when he used to say instead of saying Poughkeepsie, he used to say Capipsy.
right. And by the way, tomorrow, a very cool day. Just north and west. If you draw a line from Philadelphia to New York City, to say, not quite to Boston, but let's say to Worcester. From there, north and west, a lot of places are not going to get out of the 60s tomorrow. And I'm just looking down in Texas, where we've got some big heat going on, and we're looking at a fairly large area of 100-degree plus highs from South Texas, all the way down to Brownsville's got a 98, but everybody else has got 100. And then, San Antonio 105, Austin 106, Dallas, Fort Worth 102. So a lot of 100-degree highs going all the way up to Amarillo with 103 and upper 90s in parts of southwest Oklahoma, but and also pretty hot across Louisiana with temperatures in the low to mid 90s, but it's kind of tailed off a bit, just around 90 across Mississippi, Alabama, and Arkansas, which is why when we look at the watches and warnings map, they don't have excessive heat or heat advisories up for those areas, but they do have it for much of the state of Texas under a heat advisory or excessive heat, and the three southeastern counties in Florida under heat advisories there. We've got a working severe thunderstorm watch covering much of central Montana and some air quality issues with smoke in Nevada. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. Uh, what is this? The fire weather watch is up in those areas in Nevada and Utah and a couple of counties in Idaho and into Oregon. So very dry conditions out in the west, and they're just waiting for somebody to do something silly and start a blaze. Let's hope that doesn't happen. And on the satellite tonight, what really stands out is this rotation in southeastern Canada, just north of the St. Lawrence River, that's dropping southward. That's that upper low. It produced cloudiness, a lot of clouds up in northern New England today, and for northern Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, and clouds with breaks across New York State. But that upper low is drifting southward tonight into tomorrow, and that's, I think, going to make for a day of I'm just going to stick with the idea of self-destruct sunshine for tomorrow. And if there's going to be scattered showers, if I had to take a guess, it probably will, they're going to probably be north and west of the coast.
Yeah, I said north and west, primarily north and west of I-84.
84.
It would not be surprising to me if there was a few sprinkles going further south. The thing that really surprised me, Joe, and I just took a brief look. maybe they've changed it. I don't know. But both Albany, which does the weather for Dutchess County, and New York City, which does the weather for basically the rest of the Hudson Valley, both forecast offices for tomorrow went simply mostly sunny. And that surprised me. I would have thought they would have gone sun, followed by clouds, maybe a few scattered afternoon showers or sprinkles. No mention of that, just mostly sunny. And
Hmm.
I don't understand. Did they not look at the maps? Did they not look at the fact that there is a, I'm looking at it right now,
Hmm.
one, two, three. There's a three contour cutoff low that by the end of the day tomorrow is going to be, no, actually it's not by the end of the day tomorrow. It's it's right now. It's as of this moment in time centered near Montreal. I mean, you talk
Right.
about a usually anomalous weather system for this time of the year. That's it. Right there.
Well,
And
there's
by tomorrow, one, two, three, four, five. Yeah, five contour cutoff low, which looks like it's centered just north of Albany tomorrow. And you look at that. Good luck with.
and good luck with mostly sunny because that ain't happening. I mean, there's already there's a big batch of rain near Montreal on the radar, which I got up on the screen now, and you can see all these speckles here of showers that are in upstate New York, north of I-90, and also west of 81, going toward Buffalo. I mean, there are showers there now, and the upper low still hasn't come down. So why they would go mostly sunny is beyond me. We've got a couple of little showers and thunderstorms in coastal southeast North Carolina and northeast South Carolina, I guess if you want to call it that, near Myrtle Beach. That's about it for activity in the east, save for a patches of downpours in central Florida. We have a few showers tonight and maybe a thunderstorm or two in southern Minnesota and northern Iowa. We've got some scattered showers and storms in Colorado, northern New Mexico, eastern Arizona, a few also in Utah, and then a bit more of a larger area where the severe thunderstorm watch is up in Montana, and we've got a few scattered showers up in the Pacific Northwest. Storm Prediction Center, you can see the slight risk there in Montana where they've got the watch box up. Another small area of marginal risk in southeast Colorado and northeast New Mexico, and general thunderstorms for the coastal Carolinas and Georgia down to Florida. Now, for tomorrow, um, now just they got Albany's got mostly sunny, and SPC's got an area of a small closed area of general thunderstorms in that vicinity, going east to Massachusetts and southern Vermont, and New Hampshire. So,
There could be
uh,
some low convection that pops up. It's almost like a forecast you'd see in April,
yeah,
not not August.
yeah. Marginal to slight risk in the Western Plains, and no elevated tornado risk. And day three, a marginal risk from north and South Dakota southward into western Kansas and eastern Colorado, and you see the northeast, except for northern Maine, because the upper low is going to be pulling out, so that's why they're in general thunderstorms for Thursday, and also in the southeast. Although I think they might be pushing it a little bit, but rushing it a little bit. But we've got nothing uh, as far as much of the central and southern New England, New York State, down into North Carolina, west through the Ohio and most of the Tennessee Valley, the middle Mississippi, Missouri River valleys, and back up through the northern lakes. No thunderstorms in the forecast. And the WPC's rainfall forecast, Joe, they've got either a hundredth, couple of hundredths, in a few little patches over Long Island and South Jersey, but there's also the white area of zero for the next 7 days. And you got to go all the way up into northern Maine to get it to a half inch plus. Florida gets, because they got the stalled front, so they're going to be seeing waves of moisture for the rest of the week and into the weekend. So there could be up to several inches or more of rain in some places. And the monsoon in the southwest and some action in the Northwest. But again, as I said at the beginning of the show, there's nothing historic or catastrophic that's going to happen this week, which is a good thing. So yeah, it's all about this upper low. And I'll look at this. I mean, this looks like late September to have a upper feature this strong. And
That's
then and it
Tom Contino just mentioned on the chat board that the National Weather Service has issued or has mentioned the 30% chance of showers in Putnam County. I beg to differ, Tom. I don't know what you're looking. I'm looking at the National Weather Service forecast out of Upton, New York for Putnam. This is as of 6:13, so maybe you're looking at an update from more recent times. But the 6:13 p.m. forecast for Putnam County, where I am, sunny in the morning, then becoming partly sunny, highs in the upper 60s. Now, interestingly, in the adjacent county, in Orange County, tomorrow, sunny in the morning, then partly sunny with a slight chance of showers in the afternoon, highs in the upper 60s, chance of rain 20%. I quite frankly would have just gone, at least 30% for both Putnam
well,
and Orange County. But
I just pulled up the forecast for Newburgh, Stewart for tomorrow. Mostly sunny.
yeah, well, the new
Mostly sunny.
Newburgh is Orange County, so maybe you're looking at it as I'm saying. Maybe they updated. Well, I know they updated. They updated from like 3:30 this afternoon. The new forecast is as of
All right.
6:13, and so
Okay,
I
so
guess
now I just pulled up Putnam counties, Joe,
yeah.
what on my screen, and I'm trying to see where the time is here that this was issued. Because it says for tomorrow, mostly sunny, high near 67.
Now that
Northwest wind, northwest wind of 6 to 10 miles, not five, not four, six, 6 to 10 miles per hour.
all right.
But mostly sunny. So
Well,
this is what I.
if you're going out tomorrow and if you're in the Hudson Valley and if you're going to be doing what Renata and I and my son and daughter and my grandson and daughter-in-law and our grandson are going to do, we're going to the Dutchess County Fair tomorrow. Any of you out there who likes to go to the Dutchess County Fair, big thing in the Hudson Valley annually each summer. Maybe I'll see you. Maybe you'll run into me tomorrow. But if you do, be advised that number one, it's going to be cool. I'm going to wear long pants tomorrow because temps are only going to be in the 60s. Two, I think it's going to be a little breezy tomorrow. I think we might have temperatures reaching up to around, or wind speeds of up to about 10 or 15 miles an hour. Speaking of my son, that's my son that's on
Oh,
the phone. I don't take it upstairs. And if you're going north, be prepared. There may be a shower or a sprinkle
by
in
the
the
way,
afternoon.
the Albany forecast I've just pulled up for tomorrow, a chance of showers and thunderstorms after 2 p.m. Partly sunny, high near 64.
So there you go.
So, okay. So, who knows
They're
what's going
watching
on?
us.
What?
They're watching us.
Rick, update them.
Yeah.
Well, show you never know. I mean, we know they lurk in the background.
All right.
You know what? Today's the 20th, right? So WPC was supposed to do, yeah, the day three forecast now is out twice a day. So they actually are issuing, I'm seeing here, issued at 19 to 27 Z. So that was what, 3:30, 3:27 this afternoon?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they are now issuing us on the day three forecast, which they only used to send out once a day. Now they're doing it twice a day per our suggestion. Uh, so anyway, uh, there's your upper low and all the instability that goes with it. But then it pulls out by the time we get to Friday. It's up there in northern Maine and into New Brunswick and goodbye. And then we get sort of on the edge of this ridge, but there's still a bit of a northwest flow. Something's going to probably try to come over the top of that ridge come early next week. I think that's something you probably have to bear in mind. But I'm thinking that at least through the daytime Sunday, it should be dry, and temperatures will probably be going up Saturday and Sunday. So maybe by the time we get to Sunday, we'll be in the mid to upper 80s for highs. But there's no real rain in the forecast. And you've got here's your upper high. This is Sunday night. Stretches from off the southeast coast all the way back to New Mexico. So it's probably centered somewhere in the middle Mississippi Valley. So we're sort of kind of on the edge here of some hot air. But if there's some kink in the flow that comes over the top, that might keep it from getting, you know, hot and humid, or maybe for a day or so it might, but we'll have to see how that plays. And then there's another trough that drops down into late next week. That models seem to be wanting to lift that up to the north. So now we're going into Labor Day weekend or toward no, past Labor Day. I'm sorry. So I'm just looking at this. Um, hmm. This is the 18Z run. Let me look at the 12Z because I noticed, earlier today, yeah, I figured. So, where one run has a ridge, the other one has a trough. So we'll use the 12Z because that's probably more reliable. For late next week and going into the Memorial Day weekend, there's another nice looking trough that's dropping into the eastern United States for the Labor Day holiday weekend. And then it pulls out, and then there's another trough that drops down into eastern Canada. I will say this: if we keep seeing these troughs dropping into the eastern half of the United States, um, they could become important where they exactly wind up with regards to any tropical systems that are out in the Atlantic as we go into September. So, these troughs dropping into the east, hopefully they won't time out with a tropical system of some sort.
Well, like I said yesterday, this may be one of those rare occasions that come Labor Day, we might not have any kind of named tropical cyclone out in the Atlantic or the Caribbean. That doesn't happen too often. I don't even remember the last time that it did happen, but it's very quiet now in the wake of Ernesto, and doesn't look like things are going to be revving up too quickly in the days to come.
All right, well, we'll see. They sometimes don't always show up in the long range, and then they suddenly you got something to look at. But in the meantime, it's low humidity, and again, watch for the instability tomorrow. But Thursday and Friday look like two really nice days. You can see the rain over Florida. You can see some showers and storms there in the plains, and that'll be about it. And as I said, the other thing I would look for is maybe some kind of system coming over the top of that ridge come Sunday night or Monday. GFS is sort of playing around with the idea that there could be some scattered showers and thunderstorms later Sunday night and on Monday. In fact, they kind of amplify them a bit going into Monday evening with a little low there that they show over New York City. And afterwards, I mean, not. It looks like it'll probably be a very warm and humid pattern until a stronger cold front comes through. At least on the 12Z run, sometime on the Saturday of Labor Day of the Labor Day weekend, and then it's got another big push of cool, dry air coming in for Sunday and for Monday Labor Day. So that seems to be where we're going at this point, and there's not much else to talk about. The tropics are quiet. There was something. Hold on, before I do that, let me just check. Hold on a second. Let me bring the maps back. I did notice this yesterday. I forgot to bring it up. There was something going on trying to develop near Hawaii. Tropical storm Gilma is in the East Pacific. They have yet to have a hurricane. I don't think they've even had a hurricane yet. And out at about 135 west, uh, they have a 90% probability of a tropical cyclone developing. Uh, Large and disorganized area of showers and thunderstorm continues association with two disturbances over the western portion of the eastern basin. These systems are expected to merge tonight, and gradual development is anticipated after they merge. A tropical depression or tropical storm will likely form during the next day or so as it moves west at 10 to 15, and it's expected to strengthen as it moves across the central Pacific basin late this week and move near the Hawaiian Islands late this coming weekend or early next week. So there might be something going for Hawaii um, if this system does develop. Let me see if we get a satellite view of it. No.
Thank you, Jody Quest, for hitting Super Chat. And he says on this date in 1969, Hurricane Camille hit the mountains of Virginia, dropping about 31 inches of rain in about 8 hours. Of course, Camille did her greatest damage in terms of wind at the Gulf Coast, but as she headed northward, remember she, I believe, was a Category 5 storm. All of that moisture got wrung out over the Mississippi and Tennessee River Valley and was funneled north and east into Virginia. 31 inches of rain. Wow.
And by the way, this is what they're watching here in the Pacific. It's this rotate. There's already a rotation there. You can see there's a low level swirl. So there's some kind of low there, and there is convection developing around it, and it's moving westward. So I'm just trying to see if I can let me get a few more frames on this so I can see if there's any shear going on. Um, not okay. So there's from earlier today.
I still
Uh,
remember I still remember over 30 years ago, Hurricane Aniki or Niki,
yeah,
which did a number on the island of Kauai, a beautiful island. Probably I think that I've been to Hawaii a couple of times, 3 times, and Kauai is probably the prettiest and nicest of all the Hawaiian islands, and that hurricane did a real number
number.
on
Well, the ones that have really done cause Hawaii problems usually start out south of Hawaii and move northeastward. The
right.
ones that come in from the west, oftentimes they fall apart for one reason or another. Um, One of the primary reasons is that there's almost a semi-permanent area of shear, and in fact, if you look, there's like a string of clouds there that's moving southwest to northeast. The clouds disappear, so there's a little bit of shear south of the Hawaiian Islands. But where this thing is out further to the east, does show some signs of organization. So we could very well have a tropical system that may be impacting the Hawaiian Islands over the weekend. So there. So do you have Briller Jeopardy or do I?
I don't believe I have Driller Jeopardy.
That means I probably have it. So let me find it. Just a moment. Oh, I walked 8.5 miles today. I must have been out of my mind, but I didn't have much to do. So I walked 5 miles this morning and then I went out late this afternoon and walked another three. Okay, so I do have it. Did we do this one? No, I don't think we did this one. Okay, so we're on average highs for the month of August. So we'll start with New York City, Joe.
I would say 83.
Ring your bell. Ring the bell.
Ding, 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 ding.
That was fast.
Yes.
Um, let's see. Phoenix, Arizona.
How about Phoenix, Arizona? How
Yeah.
about how about 104?
Oh, you missed a glorious opportunity, Joe, to be able to ring the bell for yourself twice because you were close. You were close. Rich Rothmansky says 103. Chuck Cardillo. We can ring the bell for Chuck. 105.
Chuck, this is for you. And I think I just who on the chat board said I just blew out somebody's.
Well,
Oh yeah,
Lord Kate, mine also, but that's okay. Rochester, New York.
Rochester. Um, how about how about 81?
Ring the bell for yourself again.
Look at this.
He's on a
Whoa,
streak.
doing pretty good here.
I didn't even hear the chimes on that one.
You didn't?
No. Now, okay. Now I did. San Antonio.
San Antonio. How about 97?
Oh, you missed it again. So close. You could have had all four tonight. You could have had four in a row when you got two.
That would
Rich
have
Rothmansky got this one at 96. So did Lord Kate. 96, Joe. 96. No, Joe Rayo does not need an air horn.
been an
Okay.
air.
No. Um, San Diego.
San Diego, beautiful San Diego. I'll say 79.
Close, but you miss it by more than one. Um, Johnny Sack 77 is saying 77, and
Which was
it's and
77.
it's and it's 77, 77.
WA.
Uh, WABC. So that takes care of that, and of course the bonus one is always the one that's throws me off anyway when we talk about Caribou, Maine.
It is Caribou, right?
Yes.
Caribou, Maine. How about 72?
So let's see. By combined your misses tonight, you missed uh one, one, two, and you're close with the 70. This what did you say, 72?
Yes.
Yeah, so you missed the six cities by combined of like five by 5 degrees, which is which is an excellent performance. Latex Dreams is Jason Fox and Norm Roberts at 75. You're very, very close. Very close. Um, Donald Colgan, you're too cold with the 59 and 69. Um, Executive producer Ruben Fairchild is protesting this game and he is taking an extended leave from this show. Uh,
We'll help you pack.
just saying, you expect me to stop you? Um, Caribou, Maine, Frank Scalera and Lord Kate at by Rich Rothmansky. 74. 74. So you did a very good performance, Mr. Rayo. Very good.
Thank you.
You know, so you got something there, Mr. Rayo. You have a future in this business.
Oh, yes. Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe another
The
4.
Yeah, right. The Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast, as it is every night, brought to you by Tempest by Weatherflow. Get the revolutionary Tempest weather system. Join the fastest growing observing weather network on the planet. The link is on the descriptor to this podcast. Use the coupon code, Mr. Rayo.
Summer 2024, Joe.
And if you do, you will get
We'll get 10% off.
um executive producer Ruben Fairchild is boarding the aircraft now. His seat back and tray table are in the upright and locked position. He says he's not feeling the love. Well, come back another time. You still won't feel the love. Anyway, so here we are. I think that pretty much wraps it up. So we'll see everybody tomorrow night.
We will be here, Joe.
Okie doke, nighty night. Oh, and
Good night.
Johnny Quest, thank you for hitting the tip jar, and glad your dad's doing better. We'll see you tomorrow. Night night.
Good night.